GB News star Neil Oliver is tonight's outsider. Now, instead of tackling issues like soaring drug deaths and criminally long ambulance wait times in Scotland, scheming Nicola Sturgeon continues to pioneer woke social policies. Following a bizarre sex survey for children, which has been largely boycotted by schools, the SNP then told Scotland's teachers, social workers and police officers to respect the privacy of children who engage in sexual activity, an offer of confidentiality that extends to those as young as 13, effectively lowering the age of consent. Now the Scottish leader is poised to outline controversial plans to allow Scots to quickly change their gender with no need for a medical diagnosis, a process, by the way, that would be available to people as young as 16. Neil Oliver, what is Nicola Sturgeon playing at?
Well, I think you're right in what you're suggesting, but however, the moral fabric of Scotland is ultimately up to Scots. The SNP, the Scottish Government, is not Scotland. I think most Scots are not supporters of the SNP. Most Scots are not supporters of the Scottish Government as it stands at the moment. And the SNP may be, passing ideas that are an erosion of the fabric, but it's up to Scots to keep it strong. But having said that, there's no denying that it's clear that the Scottish Government has a troubling obsession with other people's children. Over the years, in recent times, they've attempted to introduce state-sponsored named persons, state-sponsored strangers slip between parents and children to discuss, talk to the children without parents knowing or having to be kept up with what's going on. They've enabled kids as young as 4 to choose their gender at school, take a new name, wear different clothes, and the parents don't need to be informed of that. You mentioned the sex survey, where kids as young as 12 were asked questions including whether or not they'd had anal sex. It's all part of a pattern of Nicola Sturgeon has called herself Chief Mammy, but there does seem to be this intention on the part of the Scottish Government to get in the way, to get in amongst families, and to come between children and their parents. If anyone has the best intentions for their children in the face of children as young as 13 having sex, then if the authorities find out about that and don't inform the parents, then I think that is just reprehensible.
It finally looks like, Neil, there's a bit of pushback coming, specifically over the whole gender self-identification thing, because there are traditionalists within the SNP who don't believe in her extreme left-wing socialist agenda.
Yes, I think it is extreme. I think for most people in Scotland, I think probably in the whole of the United Kingdom, it would be seen as an extremist agenda. I think they're well out of step with mainstream thinking for the majority of Scottish people. Is it even about being traditional? I think people just want to be left alone without this sense that the government is constantly meddling, constantly picking at the moral fabric, as you say. Families are the fundamental building block of any society. And the Scottish Government has this preoccupation with trying to slip into family, get in amongst family, and undermine the close bond between children and their parents. Don't talk to your parents, talk to us. We'll keep your secrets. That is not appropriate. And why the Scottish Government, in a time when there's so much wrong in Scotland, educational standards are falling, the drug deaths that you mentioned, problems with the infrastructure, problems with the economy, problems with health, life expectancy. There are so many things that the Scottish Government ought to be turning its attentions to if it had any genuine concern for the overall well-being of the population. And constantly picking away at the family is peculiar. I don't think anybody has really got any idea why they keep doing this, and yes, why they keep going on with this gender identification, why they keep harping on at these issues rather than tackling what is actually rotten at the heart of Scotland, the corrosion and the decay at the heart of Scotland that needs to be addressed. And they won't do it because I suspect they can't do it. They don't have the skills, they don't have the abilities, they don't have the nous, and so they just keep on, focusing on these fringe issues.
Neil Oliver, thank you so much, Neil. We'll speak again next week.